Welcome to the post-show debrief. Again, with all the developments in Egypt, much of the focus on today's show was on how the administration is handling the crisis in Egypt and the appropriateness of some of the remarks made by a number of administration officials, particularly in regard to urging the dispatch, if you will, of Hosni Mubarak, the president of Egypt. Talking with K.T. McFarland, Fox national security analyst and host of FoxNews.com's DEFCON 3. She made it very clear that she believes that the administration would be doing far better to be conducting its statements, its diplomatic statements, privately and confidentially with the government of Hosni Mubarak and privately between Hosni Mubarak and President Obama, rather than the rather public urgings, for example, and the rhetoric of Robert Gibbs, the White House press secretary, saying things like using street corner thug language like no means no and no means yesterday, hardly the way in which to be persuasive of a man who's run a government as a totalitarian leader for 3 decades of some 80 million people. Hardly the respect or the gratitude one would expect, the grace, if you will, that would be necessary to be persuasive. How this works out, none of us knows, but it certainly will not be helpful if the administration does not return to its earlier tone set during the early days of this crisis, in the opinion of K.T. McFarland, and I happen to think she's exactly right. Talking with James Carafano of the Heritage Foundation, he focused in a recent article on the economic freedom that is necessary for the success of a society, and in particular the importance of economic freedom for the people of Egypt. National security, economic freedom, these are absolutely necessary requisites, and the degree to which the United States can affect the outcome is limited indeed. But one hopes, as I said on the air today, that this government is doing more than practicing geopolitical theater from the West Wing of the White House, that indeed steps are being taken quietly and unobtrusively with our allies to be supportive of the government of the state of Egypt, no matter who turns out to be the leader. That is necessary to protect our strategic interests in the region and to also protect the interests of the state of Israel, which many people forget lies right on the border with Egypt. Muslim Brotherhood will not be the best outcome for anyone under these circumstances, so one hopes that the Obama administration has thought out very clearly and well their options here. So talking with K.T. McFarland, talking with James Carafano, offering their insight into the crisis in Egypt and the handling by the Obama administration of this crisis, one particular becomes clear, and that is a president who campaigned against the unilateralism of President George W. Bush has chosen quite obviously and publicly to be unilateral in carrying out his policies vis-a-vis the state of Egypt and its president, Hosni Mubarak. What happened to all of that multilateralism this president espoused as a candidate? Hope you'll join us tomorrow. Thanks for being with us for this post-show debrief. See you next on the radio.